in the Fashion and Beauty Summit, and I'm so honored to be here with some really good friends. So I have my girl DeLaurian. She's also a Madonna. You know, we got a lot of Madonnas in Detroit because, you know, Madonna's from here. She's from here, right? So that's normal. So DeLaurian is one name, honey. She is a rapper extraordinaire, honey. She is a motivational speaker, honey. She is all these things, honey. YouTube sensation. And then, of course, I got my best friend, Nina J, back in the building. So I'm so excited to have these ladies here, and the reason I have them here is because I think they can lend some very honest and intentional perspective on this next topic. So this one is a little bit, you know, heavy. You know, we love to have our little heavy conversations, but how do you have the tough conversations with friends and loved ones that have hurt you? Whether it's a family member, a best friend, a close friend, and you're trying to have a conversation, but they just don't understand why you feel the way you feel. So it's not that they're not willing to listen to you, but they're not willing to even understand your perspective. So how do you handle those kind of situations? So I want to kind of, you know, start off this conversation asking the question, was there ever, I'll start with you, Nina, was there ever a situation where you felt like you shared your hurt with the friend and you felt rejected by them somehow, and how did you handle it?
Sure, yeah, so I think in your perspective, I'm not an over communicator either, so I can be very concise. I try to be efficient in my conversation, so I don't think that when I communicated it, I was very thorough either. It was just like, hey, this is bothering me, you know, and this is bothering me, and I thought that should be enough. Because of the relationship that we had, I thought that me being bothered by something should be enough for you to take action without really taking thought that this person needs an understanding, like a detailed understanding as to why that's bothering me. And I think I maybe failed in that regard, and not detailing explicitly why I'm bothered, instead of just saying, I'm bothered, you should react, or you should respond. So I think I initially had a conversation. Now what I would do over is to have the conversation, make it explicit, like, this is why I'm bothered, this continues to happen, and not give any ultimatums, but make them understand, or have them to understand exactly why I feel the way that I feel. So,
Makes sense.
Two sides.
Good. That's good. Now, D-Lo, you give a lot of advice via your YouTube channel as well. So, do you think it's possible to be too sensitive in friendship? Like, do you think sometimes people can take things too personally, or feel, you know, like their friends or their family doesn't care and they're overly sensitive? Do you think that that's possible?
I think it is possible, but I think that's where communication explicitly, as you said, comes into play, because even in friendships, sometimes you still have to communicate what you need. You know, my best friends and I have been friends for over 20 years, and we have had to communicate what we need, what makes us feel appreciated. This is what I need when I come to you. You know what I mean? And so once those things have been communicated, now you as my friend can either choose to love me in that way, or decide that this is not the kind of friendship that I am interested in. So if I've told you, if I'm crying over a guy, I'm gonna need to come sit in your lap sometime. I may not get to come every day, but if I call you once every blue moon and I'm really down and I need to see you, I need you to be there. You may not be able to be there in that moment, but I need you to make time. And if you can't make time when I really need you, you need to let me know this isn't the friendship. And then I can alter my expectations and then place you in a box accordingly.
That's right.
So
That's right. That's good. It's all about expectation. And we talked about that. Yeah. We talked about that in the first episode, setting expectations in friendship, and I think that that's really important. But what do you think about setting expectations and feeling like you're repeatedly being disrespected? Because here's the thing, the type of person that I am, I'm overly concise. Like, I'm overly communicative. I'm overly direct in what I'm thinking and I'm feeling. And sometimes I can feel like I can explain something to someone over and over again, and they're either choosing not to receive what I'm saying, or they really just don't get it. So how do you handle feeling like you're trying to, or you're effectively communicating and you're just not getting the response that you want?
I think you just have to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're getting a response. It's just not the response
Not
that you want.
Come on.
Yeah. So I think you have to accept it and just say, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you should buck against it, and it's not to have or to harbor any ill will toward anyone or anything. But sometimes a response is a response. It's just not the way that we want.
Exactly.
It's not the way that you had hoped
Yes.
that they would respond, and that they would respond. And it's not to mark anyone off to say, you know, I'm never going to talk to you again, or I'm never going to have that conversation with you again. Just not right now.
Right.
You know, you don't want to respond the way that I think you should right now.
Right.
And I think it's so important to release control over a situation and over people. Because a lot of times it's not really the person, it's that we can't control it anymore.
Right.
Sometimes it's just best to accept what it is.
That's right. That's good. That's the perspective I knew you would give. Look, it is what it is. I'll call her, I'll be like, Nina. She'll be like, Kimberly, it is what it is. Get over it. Did you pray about it? Okay, fine. Let it go. Okay, I'm done. You know, she's that for me. It's real. This is true. Now, there was an article written by blogger Lisa Alamo, and it was titled, Why I Don't F With People All Like That Anymore. That was literally the title of her blog. And I was like, let me click on this. Because I don't big much F for nobody right now either. Let me see what she's talking about. And so she was basically talking about her experience and said something that really stood out for me. She said, my self-care is paramount to any relationship I have. I will not continue to or engage in relationship that threatens my own emotional well-being. It's up to me to decide what that may be, and no one should be mad about it. When I tell you, I said, that's my sister. I don't even know this Lisa Alamo. But I've gotten to a place in my life where my self-care is the most important thing. The way I feel, my spirit, is the most important thing. So even if I love you, even if you are someone that I want to see win and I'm going to continue to support, it doesn't necessarily mean I want you in my space. Yeah. And I don't want to sound unfair or sound like I'm being harsh, but it's like, if you're in my space and every time you're in my space, I'm uneasy, or there's always an issue, or there's always some underlying issue that we have, and we're going to just choose to ignore the elephant in the room, then I'm okay with loving you from a distance. And I think that we have to get to a point where we're okay with just loving people where they are. And like Nina said, when we get to that point of, okay, now we're ready to talk, then we can talk. Do you guys agree with that? Am I too harsh? Am I just, am I really all set? Like what? What do you think?
Well, I grabbed that mic with urgency.
Listen.
I'm in agreement. Self-care is important because the relationship you have with yourself affects the relationship you have with anybody else.
Yes.
And a lot of people do not practice self-care.
Yes.
They don't have a relationship with themselves. And so that inconsistency internally, it emits to all of their external relationships. So because you don't know how to treat yourself, now you don't know how to treat me. And
That's
so
it.
I have to protect myself.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
I agree with you.
That's right.
I agree.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to end it here because this will preach. Because this could go on. But just remember that you have to be happy first. And sometimes some friends or family members, you have to just let them be. And when it's time to come back, you'll know. All right? So I feel good about it. I feel good about this conversation. I hope this helps someone. I'm so excited about this next segment because y'all know I'm greedy. So we got some delicious bites coming from Shanel Dewalt with Dobine Indulgence. I'm going to be doing an interview with her, and she's going to be doing a quick cooking demo on some quick and easy things that you can make for your girls' night in, because we love a girls' night. Sometimes we don't want to go out, right? So I'm so excited to sit down with her. So join us in just a moment when we get to our interview with Chef Shanel Dewalt. Dobine, Indulgence. I'm so excited to have her here. This is like my little baby. So for those of you that don't know, Chef Shanel Dewalt is only 21 years old. And she is, listen, she had me eat stuff I didn't even know I liked. Okay, so she's actually gonna be giving us a demo of a recipe that we can do at home, quick and easy, if we have a girls' night in. So you know, if you and your girlfriends are getting together and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't really know what to get, you know, this is a quick and easy recipe. So Shanel, tell us what you're gonna be doing for us today.
Okay, so today we are going to be making tomato bruschetta. So I have here 4 Roma tomatoes it's about medium dice on them. And then I have a tablespoon of chopped parsley and a quarter of a red onion chopped really, really finely. And to that, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of minced garlic. I use fresh garlic. Don't use the garlic that's in the can. Okay. I'm gonna be really upset if
fresh garlic.
Yes.
Only fresh.
Yes.
You hear that? She said fresh. She's not playing. Best friend. She's not playing.
So to that, I'm actually going to add some basil paste. You can get this at any market. It comes in a little tube. I like using it just because a little bit goes a long way, and it really packs like a really basil punch, which I love with tomatoes. So to that, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar, and that's just gonna add a little bit of acidity to the actual bruschetta, and then we're gonna season it with some salt.
Woo! Y'all can see what I see. I'm ready.
Fresh cracked peppercorns.
Let me tell y'all about this. So I don't even like tomatoes, and she made this for another event that we were at, and I was like, what is this? I don't eat tomatoes, Shanel. You know I don't like tomatoes. I tell her that all the time. She was like, you like whatever I make. Try it. And I literally was like, oh my God, this is tomato heaven. So Shanel, tell us, how long have you been cooking? Like, tell us how you got into cooking.
Well, I've been cooking for, all of my life I've been cooking. But professionally, it's been about 3 years now. How I got into cooking, I was always the child in the kitchen that's helping my oldest aunt just cook all the meals and then bake all the family old recipes because my family is from Tennessee. So that's how I got into cooking.
Well, at least your auntie let you stay in the kitchen, honey. My aunties kick us out. Get out of my kitchen. You are interrupted. I said, I'm just trying to learn how to make another one. These are my cousins over here. They greedy. They just here to taste. So we're excited. So how much longer do we have? Because you know we're ready.
Actually, this is ready.
Oh, we're ready? Oh.
So I have some toasted.
Yes, I'm resting Wendy Williams. I love to taste.
I have some toasted crostini here. What I did was I took a baguette loaf and then I just sliced it, put it in the oven 350 degrees, just lightly toast with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little bit of cracked allspice.
And we're gonna have this recipe. And we're going to have this recipe for you on poshandpopular.com after this episode airs. So make sure you go check it out so you can make this at home because I'm ready to taste.
So we're gonna add the tomato bruschetta to each of the crostini, and then from there we are gonna top it with a little bit of fresh lemon zest just to brighten it up even more.
She's fancy. We got lemon zest.
You don't have to add it, but I do. So you can do that too.
Yes.
And then we're gonna add just a little bit of some fresh shredded Parmesan cheese.
Woo!
And then top it with some fresh basil.
God is real. He's so
So it's just quick and easy.
He's so real.
If you want to get really, really fancy, here's some light olive oil on the top.
Come on. Bring us home.
And there you have it.
Before I get real greedy, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can book you, because you want to.
So you can find more information about my company, Divine Indulgence, at divineindulgencepcs.com. It's actually a personal chef company, so if you need a personal chef, I'm your girl. And also, you can find me on social media handles at Divine Indulgence PCS as well.
And that will also be, below here, so make sure you get in contact with her. I'm ready. Listen, she didn't even take off. I'm just gonna. God is good.
And I'm nervous, so I usually just try it a little bit, but I think I pretty got this.
God is good.
Okay.
Let them try.
Try, ladies. Come here, try it.
Okay, I'm gonna be really greedy as I take us out, because this is delicious. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Pink Kisses. Be sure to subscribe. This is so good. Oh my God. Be sure to subscribe. We want you to be up on it when we have new episodes. Make sure you check out all the wonderful women that we featured on this episode. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Pink Kisses. Mwah.